You know what? I blame Johnny Somali for this. This is his work. Not his, actually. It's the Lord's work. This is what Jesus is doing. Because you see, God has sent Johnny Somali as a test to the South Koreans. And he wanted to see, will they apply adequate punishment of him? Are they going to punish him for 5 years or more? And because they overindulged, because mankind allowed its evil to foster, and they showed no forgiveness and no remorse, God is now punishing the entire nation with chaos and political unrest. And I hold all of you responsible. A lot of people that are subscribed to me, they would say, you know what, V, you defend this man 3 videos in a row, I'm unsubscribing. You did this. You did this. You had hatred in your heart, and the Lord saw it. All jokes aside, though, as an Eastern European, I do know that many of my compatriots don't know anything about South Korea. Like, seriously, no, the only thing that people know about South Korea is to apologize when they confuse them with Japanese people. Like, here in Eastern Europe, Asia is Japan, and that's it. And occasionally, you get it wrong, and you're like, oh, you're Chinese? I'm so sorry. I apologize. I didn't admit it. No, seriously, I didn't admit it. I know from now on. I won't make the mistake. But with Korea, I actually looked into its politics, and I looked a little bit, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, here's the thing, you know, with China, you kind of understand. It's like, okay, they're not really communists. It's more like the corporate nation, where every single person is a cog in a machine, and then we're all working together. It's like, all right, that's China, right? And authoritarian, and then all that shit. It's China. And then you're looking like Japan. Oh, anime, Japan. It's like really cool. You know, they have the anime convention, and they piss off Twitters. Their artists mortify the West. It's like, all right, that's Japan. Korea, I understand North Korea. Okay, brutal dictatorship, just like in Romania. I get it. South Korea, my God, you look at its history. Have any of you looked at it? Oh, Jesus. Okay, like, tell me if this sounds like actual Korean history, or I'm talking out of my ass. So, there's this group of radical feminists that hate men, and they're called the Eight Fairies. And they're operating like a shadowy cabal with tentacles that reach into every aspect of the South Korean legal system. And they manipulate the country from the shadows. Is this true? Is this a real story? Well, apparently, many Koreans thought that it's a conspiracy theory, until one of them was actually caught. Like a very wealthy, influential lady. And she apparently was one of the Eight Fairies. And she got arrested. And this actually led to one of the worst gender wars you can possibly imagine. Like, the gender war in South Korea, I don't think like any European nation experienced something like this. You know, like other nations experience feminism. The third wave, I mean. You know, the one is like hashtag yes all men, that type of shit. Yeah, like, think about like the worst excesses of that. You know, like the Me Too movement with like false accusations and then like the worst aspects of it, I mean. Think about that. Dial it to 11, and you still can't imagine what South Korea was like. And, you know, like, crackdown on everything. Like, everything that men liked, including video games. If my understanding is correct, like, people were arrested for having, like, Japanese manga, and they would go to prison, and they would come out, and they would have, like, a criminal record, and they would be on a sex registry. And a lot of them are teenage boys between the age of 18 and 20. And now they can't find a job anywhere, and their entire life is ruined because they read the Japanese manga. It's like, and you're reading this, and it's like, what? No, like, still to this day, I don't know, because I don't know any Korean to tell me if it's right or not. Like, this is what I'm just, you know, reading on the internet, and I'm like, really? No, come on. Apparently, there's also, you know, besides the area of entertainment, there's also the thing with the military service. Because all the men in Korea, they gotta go through military service. And I think it's like 1 or 2 years, right? So like within that time, you don't really get to go to work and gain experience. So there used to be perks that allowed men. It's like, all right, well, your military service is going to be recognized as work experience. And then the feminists said, no, we want equality. But they didn't want equality to serve in the military for 2 years, like the IDF forces, like in Israel that women serve. No, it's like, just, we're going to make so that the men don't get the perks for being in the military. And it's like the constant cultural of demonizing men, just nonstop, right? Like, and you're like, okay, so what are the men going to do? Just lock themselves in homes and play video games like the Japanese? No, they're going to demonize that as well, right? No escape. So eventually they voted for this guy, which is like a traditionalist. He disbanded the Ministry of Feminism, whatever name it had, gender equality, blah, blah, blah. They have like these ministries in some countries. I think like the UK has one. Argentina used to have one. So they dismantled these. And he seems to be like a conservative, a right-wing guy. And yesterday, I find out that he's declaring martial law. And I'm like, Nani? So yeah, like, martial law is declared. He's not allowing the representative of the peoples to go into parliament. All media is now subjected to the state. Strikes are banned. Any type of protest is banned. And I don't know what's going to happen to Nikkei. Chat, I'm worried. Why couldn't you be more merciful to Johnny Somali? Why did you make it so the Lord did this? What will happen with this coup? Now, he is claiming that the reason for this is that there's a lot of North Koreans within the parliament. Like, a lot of North Korean agitators have infiltrated into the legislative, and they're corrupting the country of South Korea. I mean, I would be surprised if that's not the case, because usually authoritarian nations, they rely a lot on secret service and infiltrate. I mean, the Russians did this. They called it active measures. Romania did this. Like, we had a very strong spy network in the West. Like, this is common, right? So, like, I would be shocked if North Korea doesn't do it. But were they as successful as infiltrating? Probably, because, like, they're the same ethnicity, right? So the thing, though, it doesn't really matter if it's true or not. What matters is, like, what are the consequences for it? And the consequences depend on how the West reacts to this. If the international community doesn't sanction, doesn't intervene, doesn't condemn, then chances are it will play out. And yeah, I mean, they're going to be under martial law, and there may be like some protests, but like in the age of technology, these protests usually get cracked down. It's very hard to protest when the bank seizes your account, when everything you say gets monitored on social media. Although, I mean, North Korea being over the border, I mean, they can fund some of those protests. China can indirectly fund them as well to destabilize the region. So, yeah, it could turn into a shit show. And I think it may turn into a shit show. Still, it is concerning. Because I actually like Korea. Not to visit, but the entertainment they produce. I like Nikkei. I invested in Nikkei. Please, do not take Nikkei away from me. But also, I like South Korean films. I was like, oh shit, okay, well, if Japan starts moving to California, a lot of their entertainment companies are going to watch South Korean stuff, and now I see this. To be fair, though, usually when people are oppressed, they make really good entertainment. Like, Romania during communism made some amazing entertainment, so. Anyway, enough rambling. Predictions. This is why people want to hear from me, right? Predictions. What will happen? Usually, in a situation like this, the government is doing an all-in. So, the next coming days is going to tell us how this presidential coup is going to end up. It's all about the generals. Do the generals actually want to have the martial law or not? If they actually do want to have the martial law, then it's going to be up to the international community. So then we're going to see what the United States is saying, and pretty much like what the United States is saying is going to decide what's happening in Korea. If the generals refuse to enforce the coup, then the next thing that will happen is that the president is going to be forced to step down. And chances are you're going to have the feminists back in power. Take into account that the 4B movement originated from Korea, alright? So, you're probably going to have, not just that the opposition government legitimized, but they're also going to be emboldened. Like, throughout human history, usually when a coup like this doesn't work out, look at what happened in Turkey, right? Like, the victor is going to be able to do as much power grab as they want for the next couple of months. They're going to start doing arrests. They're going to start condemning the rhetoric. They're not going to just arrest or persecute the people in the opposition that are politicians. No, they're going to go after journalists. They're going to go after opinion influencers. Pretty much like everyone that supported the original government, even if they were like not okay with the coup. No, it's just like an opportunity to clean the table, if you will. So the next couple of days is going to tell us what's going to happen. From my understanding, the opposition has enough votes to overthrow the coup, but the military is preventing them from actually entering the office building. So, yeah, it's a shit show. But as usual, the first couple of hours are the most important, and no one can tell how it's going to swing either or. But this is my prediction. Number one, if it falls, then the next government is going to be the opposition. They're going to start cleaning the table. If it holds, then we're going to see what the United States is going to say about this. Because so far, there has been no declaration from the US. They're probably wanting to see how this plays out. And based on what the US says, it's probably what's going to go. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.